Hi, my name is Janelle, and I'm going to show you a little bit about the CCGA website to help you author content. We really appreciate your interest in helping contribute to this effort. So let's start by logging in. You can see you click in the upper right-hand corner. So there's a username, and then there's a password. And if you don't have these, you can just contact anyone in the CCGA workgroup and we can get you connected. If you want to keep logged in longer, you can click that little box and say login. Now I have the ability to edit pages. So let me just show you a little bit about the site and then we'll get into editing. So here's the main page, but let's just type in this search box up here as AML and go to the overview page AML. So the idea here is that this is where you land. All the content in the site for AML is on this page. Some people have been working on graphical displays. Someone who is coming into author content would be looking at putting in a general disease overview, including references. We also have links to all other related content within the site. We are structured based on the WHO, so you can see here. This is actually separately another overview page of this subsection, and then all of the individual disease entities within that subsection. There's also the potential to put other related pages that aren't WHO categories, and you can see references down here. So let's go ahead and pick one of these specific pages. So let's take, the inversion 16 page. So now we're in a specific disease entity page. And you can see there's going to be a lot of different content. There's cancer category, subtype, definition of disease. People put in pictures. I'll show you how to do that. And you can see down here, you can put bullet points, you can put numbers, lists, that kind of thing. There's tables that you can fill out. So there's a lot of information and potential to put information in here to use. But this template is put in for you. All right, so let's go to an example. So that was AML. Now let's look at a myeloproliferative neoplasms, the MPN. So this is the overview page for MPN. And what you can see here is it's under construction. No one has put their name here yet. If you're interested in doing a page, please put your name in there and then we'll know someone's working on it, as well as trying to email someone within the CCGA. We have specific editors over each disease area that will work with you to get this content in. And we will also be putting in, helping you with links as needed. So this is what it looks like. So let's go to the idea of edit. So if you click on edit, that's where now you can get in here. So it looks pretty similar, right? But now you can actually do whatever you want. We would ask that you don't actually delete these categories like this because we're trying to keep the same structure. But where you ever see put text here, you can do that, as well as I'll show you some tables later. You have to save changes. If you don't, it doesn't exist. If you don't want to save changes, you can even just click back on read and say discard edits and nothing is saved. So this is what the disease overview page looks like and the areas that need to get filled out by an author who wants to take on one of these. Okay, now what about a disease-specific page? Well, here's an example. I just made a test blank page. So this is the disease-specific template, and it's the same kind of thing where you put text here. So I'm going to click on edit. Okay. So, if I wanted to, say, okay, yeah, I'm going to be filling this out, and you can put whatever you want for your title there, and then you start filling in text. In terms of the tables, you can actually click in here, just like Word, and type. If you want to add more rows, you actually click on this arrow and put insert after, or if you want to put it the other way, insert below. You can see now you're getting a vertical. You get a vertical versus a horizontal insert. You can delete the table, etc. So that's a way, and you can do all sorts of fancy things with this. But the idea is to try to have some of these basic tables there that you can fill out. For example, if you have a chromosomal rearrangement, you can go in here and say, okay, here's the example. Well, I know with mine, it's the 5' this gene, the 3' this gene, and I know the DIR3 or whatever is important. So wherever you see examples, it's just like put your text here. The idea is to delete that and then write over it with your specific information that you're putting in there. So let me show you some of the tools. This is supposed to function really user-friendly in terms of looking a lot like Word, right? So, if I click on something like this in Word and I wanted to underline it or bold it, it's the same kind of thing where you just go up here and you do bold and there it is. Another thing you can do is if you want to cite. So to make life easier, this tool allows us to just put in a PMID. So click on where you want to, your reference to go. So I want it to be inserted right there, and you say cite. And there's three things here. So if you go to automatic, you see how it says PMID, etc. So what you can literally do is put in a reference, a PMID reference, hit enter, and then it searches through and tries to figure out what reference you're meaning. And once it pulls it up, then you select and insert. And this is this is taking a while, but this is really helpful because it's just automatic. So yes, indeed, this is what I meant to pick. So I say insert. If there happens to pull up multiple ones, just put insert next to the one of interest. So I say insert, and there it is. So what happens is I can edit that if I want to. You can just, if you don't want it, you can just delete it, and it shows up at the bottom here. So this you aren't going to worry about. We're going to be doing this. So what I'm putting in is I'm saying add the reference list to show. So it's now going to show up for you. All right. So let's just say, no, I don't really want that reference, and you delete it out. All right. So we could definitely do that and just say delete. And you can hear this is the back undo. So, oh no, I meant to keep it. So it's back. So that functions also like Word. Another way with citations is reuse. So let's say you're down farther on the page or somewhere else on the page. Well, any references you've already put on the page, all you have to do is select it again, and it'll pop it wherever you want to put it. Say, I want to cite the same thing again. So it's really easy to insert one you've already used. If you do have a challenge with something being like a book or not an easy thing to search, we put the example down here of a WHO. And the reason we did that is because obviously it's pretty much going to be cited on most pages. So it's just an easy thing to copy, and let's say I need to put that here. Okay, you put cite and you put manual. All right, oops, I clicked wrong. You click manual and just basic form, and it'll just pull up a text box. So you can paste in here whatever you want to do, edit this for the pages or the book or whatever, and just say insert. And now you have a manually added reference as well that will, again, show up down here now automatically. So it doesn't matter where you move things around, this will auto sort itself, so you don't have to worry about that. So that's citations. Okay, what about linking? So linking meaning linking internally to other pages, linking externally. So to link internally, you actually just click where you want the link to go, say link, and let's say, okay, I want to link to Able 1. Well, it pulls this up because we have an Able 1 page, so you just click that, and there you go. So now the name right here now will actually go to that link. If you want it to just be the Able 1, you have to kind of separate it from the text here and say, okay, now I'm going to link and say Able 1. There we go, and that'll show up as Able 1. If you want to, you can click on this and say edit and change anything, or you can delete it just like I showed you on other stuff. So that's the really easy way you can link to other page, like any other page. So as long as you catch the title of the page in the site you want to link to, put that title in, it'll find it, just click on it and we'll insert it where you need. Just like that. So you can delete it or you can edit it after you do that. Okay. If you want to cite something external, you have to put in the full like HTTP blah 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 like that. So let's say we wanted to link to Google. That's kind of funny, but let's just say, and you say insert, and then it looks like this. It looks a little funny. So if you click on that again and say edit, you can add a label. And what the label will do is then say, oh, you want to actually say what the address is. Yeah, that's what we wanted to do. So that's a way to show what the external address actually is. So that's linking. And the last thing I wanted to show you that is a bit bigger is probably inserting media. But real quick, I'm going to show you this. So let's say you wanted to bullet things, like you wanted to have it in a bullet point list. It's just like Word. Highlight whatever you want to bullet, click this and say bullet. Or you can highlight this and say, no, I actually want these to be numbered. So same kind of thing. So as Word. All right. I will here special characters. So this is just like Word. If you wanted to use any of these symbols, you can insert them just like that. All right. So now let's get to the fun stuff. Media. So let's say you want to put in a picture, and we love pictures. We do have a policy about figure inclusion. So we do worry a little bit about copyright. If it's anything from your laboratory that's yours, just have it de-identified and put where it came from, and that's great because we want you to get credit for the work you're putting in there as well as display as much of it as we can because we're trying to share it with each other. If you get something outside of that, like from a website or paper or anything, we need to know that we have permissions to use that, and if it's a freely available resource, great. If it's not, we would actually have to try to seek permissions. So, for example, we had all of these papers done through the CCGA related to clinical utility of microarrays in different neoplastic disorders. Well, we got permission from Cancer Genomics to put all of the lists of important regions and genes into this site from them, so we could just put those tables right in now. Just as an example. So if there's any questions or any issues, please, we're here to help you through the work group. But let's just get into it. So media. So click wherever you want to insert the picture. Say insert media. And there's two ways to do this. One is you can search the CCGA site itself. So let's say, well, is there anything with 16 going on? Not that one. Is there anything with inversion? 16 of some sort? Oh yeah, look. So then you would just double click and insert this pictures if you wanted to add this to this page as well. But mostly what you're going to have is upload. And this is upload like you would upload anywhere to any site. And you could drag and drop a file or you can select a file. So for example, if I want to put a karyotype in, I just find it, I drop it in here. Yeah, I know this is my work. And you say upload. And you can name the name of the file. You can put any kind of little description on it. This is not what's going to show up on the page. This is just within this file. So, I don't really think I need to put any extra description, so I'm going to say save. Oh, I go here. None. That's fine. Okay, save. Yes, that's fine. Oh, it's because I uploaded this previously. All right, so let's do that. Save. That's okay. You can still do it. Oh, it doesn't like it because, fine. We'll have to select a different kind of file, but let's just then pick something that we've done before. So media, and let's do inversion 16, right? So we'll put this in here. All right, use this image. So when you're using this image, what you can do is you can put a caption, right? This is actually what's displayed, and you can use all of these tools in that way. You also need to go into advanced settings though. So problem is, right, it defaults to this. So what'll happen is your image will show up over here. So I usually click left. You can also put it in the center of the screen if you want. This is up to you. It can be a thumbnail. You can put a frame on it, that kind of thing. So that's kind of nice. So now let's say insert. So now what you see is it inserts and it moves text. So some of this is playing a little bit. So you can click on it and you can edit it. So, oh, I didn't mean to do that. So you can go back in here and you look at advanced settings and you see, well, what was different about it? And so that's fine. Well, let's go back to general settings. So you're checking your caption, your alternative text, your advanced settings, and how is this happening? So a lot of this is kind of playing with it. But what happened is it's this. Just look around. If you have any questions, certainly email us. But if there's a problem, look, it wrap around. We don't want it to wrap around. There we go. Now apply changes. So now you can see the text no longer wraps around. It goes below it. And you can actually now manipulate this like words. You can add any kind of different label you want. And you can also take this and grab and drag it anywhere you want and drop it, kind of thing. So again, it's nice to have things be a little bit more like Word. You can also, beyond images, you can insert tables. And what the table looks like initially is a certain amount of boxes. And as I showed you earlier, you can add boxes by doing this, insert before, after. You can also actually drag and hold a bunch of these, copy, and it actually usually paste if you want to do a whole bunch of rows at the same time, kind of thing. And then this just fills in just like a word kind of thing. Up here, you can label your table as well. So that's how tables work. So that's a lot of the basic functionality of this site. And once you do this, you can then click Save Changes and save them. And then it will look exactly like whatever you said once you go to read. So I'm not going to save this because I've just made a whole mess of my page, but that's the idea. So I didn't want to save this, so I discarded it, so it goes back to the original. But the idea is you can always discard and not save things, or I would certainly suggest saving as you go on different portions. So there's your tour of the CCGA site, how to author content, and let us know if you have any questions, and I really appreciate you taking the time to contribute. Thank you. Bye.